Yo, what's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short. This is a collective reading. Only take what resonates to and for you. Leave what doesn't. If you're led here, there's a reason. Tap into your intuition. Use your discernment to find out what that is. And sometimes I have to remind you guys, separate your intuition from your opinion. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, I rolled some dice earlier and these numbers came out. So I'm going to roll them again, but I feel the need to point out these numbers. We have 2, 12, 7, 3, 5, 2, 2, 2, and 20, which is also 2. Now, a certain set of these numbers may stand out to you between maybe 3 or 4. You can look them up as angel numbers, look them up as mystic numbers. You can take them down to the single or double digit and look them up as life path numbers and etc. to find out what else fits for you in this message. Now, the life path number that you might be led to look up may not necessarily be your life path number, but it still has an effect in your life somewhere, perhaps through another person or energetically. Some of the vibrations of it plays in your personality or life. So be open-minded. You know, I feel like that's something that this group needs a lot of. Okay. We have 1, 1, 1, another 5, another 5, so 10, which also leads back to a 1. We have 3, 14, another 5, a 1, and a 6. So if the first set of numbers didn't resonate, or maybe both sets of numbers resonate for you, same rule applies. Okay. This reading, we're going to focus on your energy field, your life force field. Okay. We're going to tap in to find out what's happening with it currently. If there's a block, how can you open it up? If there isn't a block, how can you advance upon it? Okay, so we're looking at something that's going on presently. However, as a channeler, might pick up some premonitions that are a few paces ahead, but you'll feel, tap into your intuition, you'll feel what's going on here, and then we'll get into the rest of the message. I wanted to, channel how this energy it's playing into your success, or will play into your success. So since we're focusing on this being Thursday and we're tapping into this life force energy on Thursday, I'm encompassing the energy of Jupiter when it comes to prosperity and when it comes to wealth. Please understand, prosperity and wealth are not limited and never have been limited to just material gain or money. It plays into your health, it plays into your mental state and your spirituality. You can have a wealth of spirituality. You can be very prosperous in how you articulate that spirituality in your mental state and in your physical state. Again, it's not just limited to items or coin. Okay. How also, I feel the need to point out, I was led to use Ganesh's tarot. So shout out and much love to Papa Ganesh. Those of you who know me, you know why I call him that. You understand, me and him have an understanding. But for those of you who resonate with Lord Ganesh, the color gold will be very important. For this group overall, the color gold's important. And I'll have more content on this very soon, and programs on this very soon. But gold has a spiritual property, it has many spiritual properties, actually. And you've been taught to believe that it's just something that you wear, that you should just flaunt. I want you to understand something. If you own any kind of authentic gold, when you wear it, be very mindful of your intentions. Be very mindful of your environment and what energies you're interacting with, because just like every other material, it picks up an energy, it picks up a vibration, it also pushes it out. So, for example, you sometimes see people like wear gold and they'll like flaunt it and go, yeah, I got this like gold Rolex, blah, 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 right? What they don't understand is the energy and where their mental state is when they're wearing that gold. It's not really in agreement with the property of it. So this is why sometimes people can wear all of that and still be miserable, or wear all of that and vibrationally just feel off. They don't even know why, because you're wearing something of a strong energy and you're not putting the right energy into it. And because it's on your person, it's channeling your energy right along with you on a regular basis. Some of you need to brighten up your wardrobe, brighten up your space. I get it. Your favorite color might be black and gray. That's cool. But you need to brighten up your space. You're trying to pull in the energy of success. You're trying to pull in the energy of stability. And gold also represents stability. It helps to stabilize frequency fields. It helps to stabilize ozone layers too. We'll get into that another time, but it stabilizes things. So you want that, but yet when you look around your space, you have all this like doom and gloom. You know what I mean? Some of you, it's not for everybody, but some of you is like, okay, black curtains, black bed sheet, black carpet. You know what I mean? And everything else is like kind of gray. I'm picturing like those modern penthouse apartments. It's not that you live in one, but you know what I mean, where it's kind of like voided of a soul. Like, I'm not trying to shade you, but your guardians and guides have been trying to lead you to brighten up your space for a minute now. And some of you, for a minute, you'll go get something of color and then you'll complain like, oh, I don't look good in yellow. Listen, you're being guided to wear gold or golden yellow or golden orange, even for a reason. Stop complaining. You're being led to it for a reason. It's best to listen and figure out what that reason is than to combat it. And then you're like, how come I'm not getting the stuff that I'm asking for? So I want you guys to really start paying attention to what you feel. Those of you who have gold, cleanse it. Same way you would your crystals, same way you would your stones. And when you wear it, especially if you have powerful, prosperous stones that are in gold, feel out the vibration of it once it's cleansed, this natural vibration, and then see what you can channel it for your life, what you want to use it for. Is it to bring in stability? Is it to bring in wealth? Is it help to stabilize health? Figure out what you want to do with it. And when you have gold and a certain stone is sitting in it, and that certain stone has a powerful property, like say, green jade or pyrite or etc., channel the energy for what the centering stone is, because what the gold is doing is it's solidifying that for you. All right. Gold was used as keys for portals. Gold was used for many different reasons, and unfortunately humans have forgotten some of their actual properties and started fighting over it, but that's a whole nother conversation and involves like the Anunnaki and all that other jazz. So we'll save that for another time. Let's hop on into the message. I feel like some of you are really out of it. Like just out of it. Do a little bit to the ascension, but I feel like some of you are out of it. Namaste, Ganesh. That's what this collective needs to know. What's this collective need to know? We have 5 of Wands. 5 of Fire. Lots of confusion. You're going to hear me a lot of times call the different suits by their element, because element, the elemental property, very important right now. I see a lot of confusion. Some of you might have felt like, and I'm only saying might because this is a collective group, so there's different energies here for different reasons. Some of you feel like you had a conflict recently over maybe trying to make a decision with a group. This could have been family or friends. It could have, I'm gonna give an example, and it doesn't have to be your example. It's just to simplify this so I don't ramble on. Have you ever brought group tickets for something like a concert, and one person's account has to buy the tickets, and it's going to be on their phone, or they have to pick them up, right? And then maybe another person has a car or 2 cars. Everybody can't drive, so only 2 of you could drive, and so one person has to sort of be the individual who puts everyone on a schedule. Okay, you got the tickets, be here at this time. You got the car, we're going to meet at so-and-so's house, and blah blah blah. I feel like no one wanted to at first take responsibility for any of it. No one wanted to take the lead and say, okay, I'll be the person in charge of whatever. Because if something went wrong, they didn't want to be chewed out or looked at. Some of you watching resonate with being the person that took the lead, for example. Okay, since everybody else is standing around looking stupid, I'm just going to come forth and take the lead. However, the moment you did that, now all of a sudden everybody else wants to, maybe you were coming off to them as a little too, I don't want to say you were stern. Maybe for some of you, that's what it was. I just feel like some of these people just didn't like being told what to do. You know, it's like if they wanted the position after someone else took it. So they were becoming a headache. Whatever this conflict is, for some of you, is far more serious than just purchasing tickets. It's far more serious than just collaborating on something. It's like maybe a family issue or a friend issue. And it's creating a dis-ease in you. Remember, you got to be mindful. Dis-ease leads to disease. And when we're talking about your life force energy, we're talking about something that's throwing you off. It's putting your energy field in conflict with another. Remember, your energy can be influenced by people, environment, sound, and etc. I feel like you might have been listening to people bicker. That's for another group here very, very strongly, that some of you were listening to somebody bicker and bicker and bicker. Maybe you live with them and you just can't take it. You're like, I'm going crazy listening to these people bicker. And it's having an effect on your life force field. It's having an effect. It's throwing your meridians off. So you're going to need to really work on some breath work here. Some of you get this nauseous feeling whenever you hear conflict and arguing, and like a really bad headache on the side of your head. This isn't just like an ascension symptom. This is actually a symptom of your body trying to tell you what's happening to your energy. You need to find a quiet space, or if you live with these people, when they're all out of the house. I don't care if you're like, dang, like when everyone's out of the house, it's this time in the morning or this time at night. I understand, trust me. But you need to wake up and you need to get into some breath work. You need to center yourself. And I also would recommend many of you get into, and when it comes to breath work, you might do it the yogmatic way. You might do some dragon breath. Maybe you're more into the kundalini. You can experiment with these. That's okay. You can trust your intuition. Do not get in your head about this. Don't be that person that gets overly skeptical about everything, because some of you you're watching this and yet can resonate with being overly skeptical. Find what your intuition is leading you towards, but make sure that you're in the right vibration when you're looking. And that's why I'm telling you to do breath work first. Breathe, be aware of yourself, be aware of how you're feeling. And then I recommend that you get into either some Qigong or Tai Chi. You need to see how to move the energy around. Again, I'll have content on this for you guys. But for right now, there's plenty of content and plenty of spaces that you can look into to find which one resonates. Don't get in your head with, oh, this is boring, or oh, this is that. There's different ways to do these ancient techniques. Contrary to popular belief, people even back then would resonate and do them in a way. This is how we have so many masters that have so many different techniques, because maybe one technique didn't work for them and they had to improvise or follow through and channel another way to add on to a said technique. Again, I feel like you can't get in your head about this, but you do need to center your energy, because this is leading, for some of you, to a lot of physical issues that you're feeling now, whether it be a headache or problems with the stomach. Be mindful of like stomach ulcers. Remember, the gut is a very important part of the human body, and spiritually it's a very important part of the human body as well, which is why even sometimes when going through ascension symptoms, we have just as much issue with our gut, with our head, with our back. But for some of you, I just keep hearing like, be mindful of the gut. So watch what you're eating when you're stressed, because some of you stress eat. You need to change your diet. And diet doesn't always mean that you eat less per se. Base it on what you need. I'm not here to be your dietitian. I'm simply giving you the spiritual guidance as a spiritual, practitioner and person that does this for a living. You need to be mindful of the energy of the food that you're digesting. Where did it come from? When you were eating it, were you stressed? Were you irritated? One of the things I personally can't stand is, I'll just eat something and then people call me, because I'm one of those people, when I eat, I need to sit for a while and like not move. And so I have to remind myself a lot of times to be mindful to not become frustrated or too angry, because the moment you eat and that food's running through your system and it's doing what it's doing, it's also affected by your energy. And then what type of exercise or practice are you doing to get that food to move out of your system the way it's supposed to? Typically, And it still can vary based on different, factors and whatnot. But typically, a woman in particular needs to work certain things out of your system within 18 hours. Sometimes for men, it's a little longer. Sometimes, listen to your body. If you eat something and you feel really weird within the first maybe hour or 2 hours of eating it, and you wouldn't have felt weird any other time, your body's trying to tell you something. Your energetic field is trying to translate something to you. Okay, so a lot of you are dealing with conflict in your life force energy right now that needs to be moved, cleared, and this could mean leaving the space where that conflict is. Take your behind somewhere, no excuse. Put on, if you can't leave out, maybe you have someone that you have to watch, maybe put on some headphones. Find a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. But if you keep making excuses for why you can't do something, then you're never going to get it done, because your brain, it's going to become all codependent upon that process of, oh, I can't do it, that you'll keep running into a problem. And remember what I always tell you guys, there is no such thing as an insignificant thought. So everything that you think about yourself and about your world, the people around you and your reality, manifests. Be truthful with yourself about this. Whoop. No, we are not doing the whole, no, we're not doing the whole deck of cards. I love you, Ganesh. I love you, Papa Ganesh, but we are not doing the whole card. No. We're going to shuffle again. I did see a flash of the Star card. I did see a flash of the Two of Wands. I feel like the Star card is confirmation of needing to cleanse your physical body, cleanse your spiritual body, and your mental state. The Two of Wands, I feel like that's making a firm decision, even if it's coming out of your comfort zone to do so, because there's a certain path that you're meant to walk, and you can't keep making excuses for why you're not walking it. So a lot of cards shot out, but I'm not gonna, we're not trying to be here for like hours and hours. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords. Look at that, being truthful with yourself and others. I feel like, again, you might have come off kind of stern to the group, or maybe someone in the group came off stern to you. You see above, I just saw 1212 flash before me. You see above this bullcrap here. It's like whatever the problem is that everyone's making it so complicated, you're sitting here looking and the solution is so simple, but nobody wants to listen to you. Okay, well, that's their problem. I mean, honestly, that's their problem. You can't, and we've all been there, especially when we feel like we're affected by what's going on, or we know that we are. We get so caught up on, okay, but like, it's not just your problem, it's also my problem, and so I need y'all to get your ish together, because what'll happen though is you'll get so in your mind about that, and you'll get so to the point that you're trying to get other people to like get what you mean, that you start neglecting self. Your mental state ain't good. The body's stressing out. Stress is the number one killer. Stress brings on everything else. It makes everything else in the body malfunction. You can't afford to be sitting here stressing about the fact that you're trying to get them to understand something and they're not getting it. What you can do is you can remove yourself from whatever that is. They may not like it. That's their problem. For others, this conflict around the body, there's a lot of, I keep hearing confusion, something about confusion. But whatever the confusion or conflict is, you have the ability to use your discernment and see the truth. You just need to be mindful. Mindfulness is so important here, of not neglecting one part of yourself because of what you're picking up on, or because of what you're seeing, and because you want to help everyone else or be there for everyone else. You also have to be mindful to not, mess around and neglect people that you should pay attention to. So if you have kids, for example, sometimes people get so caught up on taking care of, like, maybe their elders, or they'll get caught up in conflict with a lover or whatever, and you may not mean to, but things with children can get neglected in that moment. That's channeling for somebody. Take only what resonates for you. You might need to, you and your baby, or you and somebody might need to go out for a while and just get away from whatever that is. Even if it's just a drive, even if it's just going to a park. Again, if you make an excuse, you'll manifest more reasons to not get it done. And you'll be stuck in the same position. And what we're trying to do is elevate you out of it. And again, I feel like someone needs to add some color to their world, because all of the dark around you is not helping. I get some of you associate the dark more so with like space. you're only seeing, and this, I'm going to go for average because some of you watching are intuitive, but just for the average person seeing about 10% of the color spectrum in the universe. Your space is very diverse in color. It's very beautiful. Its dark shades are rich, its bright shades are rich, but you're not always seeing that level of it. For those of you who do, you see it, but you might find that because of a certain lifestyle that you like, let's say you grew up goth, right, for example, then you might find that you kind of still just resonate with like gothic like art or things. That's cool, but you need to add a pinch of color to this. This is very important for some of you. For many of you, for really those of you watching this, it's the color gold. It can be different shades of gold. I want you guys to like find, maybe a picture of like an authentic gold ring or statue of some kind, and just look at it for a minute, just thinking on the color, just focusing on the color. What do you pick up vibrationally from that particular tint? Because that might be the tint of the color that you need to have. For me, I love more of like the orangey golds and the really, rich golds like this, not so much the dull looking kind of golds, but for some others, it might be more of the less saturated golds, right? What resonates for you? And if you were to go to a store and you were to try it on, or if you have something in your house already, what do you feel after you cleanse it? What do you feel when you wear it? That helps you to understand what you might need to channel that item with. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant. You guys have to be committed, very committed to taking care of yourself and to expanding your energy field. A part of this will be getting into meditation, working on breath. It's going to always be these main things: breath work, meditation, and learning how to move the energy in your body. A simplified way of learning this in the beginning can start with Tai Chi or Qigong. These are, and again, every culture has a version of this. It's not just limited to one place. Every ancient culture, the older it goes back in its existence, the older them downloading this information goes back. So whether you want to call it prana, whatever you want to call it, there's a version of it in your culture if that's where you want to start. But don't feel like you're limited to that, because at the end of the day, these energies, the life force energies, it's tied into existence itself. It's tied into the universe itself. It makes you all participate in the tapestry of life. So it's all connected. This is why you can be from a complete different culture or upbringing and resonate with those type of practices when they're in another, because only humans create borders. Remember that. Somebody needed to hear it for whatever reason. I want to see what part of the body is being affected for you guys. But this Hierophant card is coming out as saying, yes, you need to tap into your spiritual side, and you need to be committed with the healing of your body, healing of your mind, and coming out of whatever that confusion and conflict is. Now, I channeled, specific things for some of you, but for others who felt the need to watch, especially up to this point, that conflict can be many other things, but it has a physical reaction in the body. And for many of you, it's your gut and it's headaches. For others, it's also the soles of your feet. Now that's very important, because your feet are tied to major organs. So if you're already getting gut pain and you're getting aches in your feet, maybe you've been to the doctor and the doctor don't see anything wrong with you, all the more reason to work on this energy. If you have been to the doctor and the doctor has said they've seen something wrong with you, again, all the more reason to work on these energies. Now, we always have to do our little disclaimers and say, hey, we're not giving medical advice, blah, blah, blah. But, what I'm telling you right now is as a person who gives spiritual guidance. And you don't have to listen to it. You can do what you want to do. But it's nothing wrong with you learning these things and maybe putting them into practice with whatever other routine you have and seeing which one works. And not only makes you feel better, but you see a result from it. I deal in results. Okay, so let's tap into what other parts of the body might be affected for you guys. Okay, yep, we have meridians. We have the triple warmer. So shame, pride comes out here. We have be proud of what you are achieving and where you are going. You are better than you were. Competition is only with yourself. What did I say about being in conflict with a group and maybe feeling like they need to listen to you? But funk all that. The only person you need to be in competition with is yourself. So if somebody else is making you feel like you've got to compete with them, or if you try to take the lead in something because no one else would, that all of a sudden everybody wants to see you as being extra, back up from that energy. You don't need to prove nothing to nobody. I don't care what your job is, spiritual work, whatever. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. But you do the best that you can with what you have. This is a justice energy here, and we also have the time frame of 9 and 11. So between 9 and 11 is a great time to work on balancing the fire energy within yourself. Some of you might have too much fire in the belly. That could be another reason why you're having the stomach issues, and you need to balance it out. For others, you might need to spark the fire in yourself a bit more. Maybe spark the fire in the base of your spine a bit more here for many of you. We also have that you could be a fire sign. Now, this card isn't set up like so-called traditional tarot, but it is perfect for if you're channeling these energies and you want to be able to give someone a specific body part. I do feel like, again, balance is important. So the justice energy, I feel like, is representing the balance, is representing being honest with yourself, honest with the people around you. And if the people around you can't handle that honesty, back yourself up. Make sure that you're committed to your path, you're committed to your healing, okay? And that you're trusting the signs coming from a higher source. You might need to work with a mentor. Maybe you need like a life coach soul session. Do not be afraid to invest in yourself, and don't make excuses about why you can't invest in yourself. If you think broke, you stay broke. Remember that, okay? But don't just watch a bunch of, some of you guys do get addicted to just like watching a bunch of readers' content that we provide for you for free for collective energies, but you end up needing something that's, this helps you, it gives you guidance, but you might need something more personal. Invest in yourself. Invest in that energy exchange. Just make sure that you are listening to your intuition and you're using your discernment whenever you do it. I don't care if it's with me or someone else. The point of helping you guys like this is to help you learn how to tap into your own power, into your own, way of healing. And every now and then you might find yourself needing to have a pick-me-up, which comes through a life coach or through a spiritual, guidance person. The Hierophant can represent anybody that has that higher vibration and mentor-like energy for you. But the point is to help you elevate. That's always the point. So be mindful of working with people that make you feel like if you're not working with them only all the time, that there's a problem. Make sure you're using your discernment. Okay? Because the only person responsible for you getting God out here is you. If you get God or scamming, there's a lot of scammers running around. Don't blame the whole spiritual community for that ish. You know what I mean? Just learn to utilize the gifts that you were given, and understand that those of us here in physical form to assist, it's exactly that. It's to assist, is to help. That's what it's for. It's not to tell you what to do, but it is to help. And you either want that help or you don't. But there has to start being a fair exchange. Too many individuals are, and I'm channeling this for a reason, too many individuals have become very accustomed with those of us who do these practice beyond just the tarot. We deal in healing. We're channeling the energies. The cards are to just help you see. You get used to just asking us for free stuff, or you get used to just coming into one or two collective readings and going, okay, this resonates, and then you don't put anything into practice, and then you don't invest in yourself to go further. Invest in your spiritual health, invest in your physical health. It will help you to elevate your overall being, which also means to elevate your lifestyle. It is not a coincidence that I'm led to focus on life force energy for you guys, and this message comes out. Okay, that's not a coincidence here, my love. Spirit's trying to tell you something, but it's up to you to translate it deeper. Okay? We have, look at that, releasing toxic things helps you grow. toxic opinions, toxic people, toxic belief systems. It all helps you grow. Tapping into your natural understanding of healing and opening your mind. A closed mind cannot go far. A closed-minded person cannot go far. They can have the illusion that they did, but they always run into an unnecessary wall. So make sure that you're open-minded. Be mindful of being overly skeptical or so much of a wise person. And when I say, I mean like, wise guy kind of energy or wise chick kind of energy, that you don't listen to the input others may have. Now, I don't feel like a vast majority of you in this group has that problem, but at times when you feel, say like this, where there's a lot of conflict, you might sometimes find yourself kind of closing people off. Like even people who do mean you well, because you're so irritated with the others who meant you harm, and that blocks that mentor energy that comes in. The mentor isn't somebody to dictate to you. They mentor you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not here like to dictate. A life coach isn't supposed to dictate anything to you. They just simply get you, even if it means sometimes lighting a fire under your butt, they get you to tap into higher understanding of yourself. Somebody here either wants or needs a life coach. Maybe you want to be one, but before you can be one, you got to understand what that entails. And you might need one for your life. You know, that saying when they say every therapist has a therapist, right? But it's coming through for a reason. It's coming through for a reason. We have pendulum. Seasonal work, job change, making choices is what a lot of this is about right here. New strategies that are needed. Letting go of indecision. This is, this confusion that's here is translating in different ways for a lot of you. But I keep picking up on like there's a group and one person tried to take a lead and it led to all this confusion and unnecessary conflict. If you notice, they're not fighting. Further shows you what I'm channeling here. They're not fighting. They're just all looking at each other, holding these sticks like they don't know what to do with them. Like, do we bash each other in the head with them? Do we, like, what do we do? Who's walking first? It's bringing back the image of the Two of Wands, how there's like the two wands sitting on the side. They don't know if they're supposed to take them wands and put them up like that, and one person holds and the other person runs, and it's just like, this is a headache. You know what I mean? It's creating an imbalance. There's an imbalance in the life force energy. There's an imbalance in your field, and you need to be honest with yourself in order to fix it and to utilize your discernment in order to fix it. Let's see what's going on with the shmoney. We're going to use the Hustle. We're going to use the Hustle Tarot, not Tarot, but Oracle by Fire Witch Tarot. See what's going on with the finances. This could be what's happening because of this energy. This could be what needs to happen to help clear the energy. Let's find out how this life force energy is affecting your finances. Burnt out. Take a small break. If that don't go along with everything I'm saying, you're going to have to pull your energy back from this. You're going to have to find a way to make time for yourself. I'm not even going to say find a way. You know what you need to do. Like, so do it. Now, I tried. I was going to do it, and you can't have any regrets about doing it because, it leads to the same saying every time. Every time I get this energy. If you burn out, then what? Then what? More stress, more health problems, more issues, more irritation, more shit to take care of, right? Right. So don't burn out. We're gonna sit Ganesh up. Don't burn out. Everything's now trying to fall. Like, yeah, that's gonna be you trying to do something and then tumbling over because you just don't have the energy or capacity to do anything. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of disruptions. Just now, it's pretty late here right now. And I just got called for like no good reason. So yeah, there's a lot of distractions and things, but you got to do what you got to do, because if you burn out, what was the point of any of it, right? We have living it up. You made it. This is the energy that wants to come in. So this is the energy that wants to come in when you deal with this. Then it'll be that, okay, now I can live it up. I feel like that's a part of that justice energy. That's that part of getting mentor energy, whereas over here is a part of the burnt out energy. just so that you can see how it's transitioning in here. Let's get some angel numbers. Again, we have the numbers on the side, but I want to get some messages through some angel numbers for you guys. We have 888. As you focus on all the wonderful things that surrounds you, you're clearing the path for more positive energy to flow into all areas of your life. And we're talking about life force energy. Creating a place for abundance. I am abundant. So get out of the I can't, I tried to make time, but I couldn't do. I would love to invest in this, but I couldn't, blah, blah, blah. Save up. Set proper intention. Don't let anything get in the way. Sometimes it's going to mean saying no to people that you might not want to say no to, but oh well, you're going to have to say no, because if you don't take care of yourself, then what? Aren't they just as much out as you are? The people who you do genuinely want to help, won't they be just as much, or they're going to have to figure it out, right? Well, okay then. Sometimes things have to be put into perspective, and this is for those of us who do any kind of, spiritual or life coaching, because to do the kind of work, for example, that I do, you do find yourself pretty much being a life coach to people. But it's one of those things that it's just the hardest for people to get, and it's sometimes even the hardest for us who do this kind of work to get, that if we burn out, the people that we want to help are just as much out as we are, but we feel all the physical problem of it. They might have maybe the financial for a second. They might have maybe, an irritation for a moment. But you have to go to the hospital, do this, get probe that. Dis-ease causes disease. And now here you are, stuck in a bed for a longer amount of time. By the time you get out the bed, you feel so behind on what you have to do. Is it worth it? Nah. We have 77. It is time to move on from the old patterns, habits, and fears. Now is the time to walk in the direction of your biggest desires and ambitions. Now is the time to be bold and brave. I am brave. That goes over here with that living it up and investing in self. But we're going to sit here because of, space. Last group of cards we're going to get into are these are like affirmations. This reading is for, feminine and masculine, for man, for woman, whatever you identify as. Again, I'm going to have more content that speaks on these energies in more detail, but I use these cards for both masculines and feminine, even though it has more of a feminine vibration, and was made, I believe, from a women's business retreat. But masculines need help tapping into that feminine intuitive nature anyway, right? So I always translate it if it needs translating. Sometimes it's perfectly fine the way it is. Let's see what's going to help you clear this energy for success. What's going to help you clear this life force energy for success. It is safe for me to reprogram the computer of my mind. All of life is change, and my mind is ever new. Remember what I said earlier about someone wearing a lot of black and needing to add some color into their space? Like you see back here, there's a little bit of red and white and stuff. Yeah, right? The mind is ever changing. So there's no point in you getting stuck in being one way. There's no point in you getting stuck in thinking one way or being closed-minded or overly skeptical. There's just it doesn't help you. It hasn't. it hasn't, right? So let yourself evolve out of that. It might sometimes mean looking into conversations and energies that you wouldn't have looked into before, because you would have been like, that doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? Right? It's time to tap into intuition. Do not mistake your intelligence for intuition. That's a conversation for another time, though. We'll be here forever. We have, I love and approve of myself. I give myself permission to go ahead it is safe to move. Here's this moving energy again. So if you're in an environment where like people just keep bugging you, and look, it's not to say that some of you are just going to wake up and like overnight, boom, here's a wad of cash to like get an apartment of your own. But you can start to set that intention and that vibration from a far more positive perspective than what you've been doing. And you can start checking yourself when your energy is about to go there, because you can see the solution and nobody wants to listen. Like you can actually go, okay, well, that's their problem. Okay, they want to fight, they want to bicker, they want to stand around like they don't know what to do, like everybody's confused. I don't really need to interject myself into that. You can use your discernment to know when you need to help somebody and when you don't. If you don't take care of yourself, you're no help to yourself or anyone else. So if moving is a goal and you want to be in a position to live more comfortably or more creatively, whatever it is for you, you have to not only set that vibration and set that energy field for that, but you also have to put action behind it. So this is why I'm telling you guys, breath work, meditation. There's different types of meditations. Don't give me no excuse about, oh, I can't sit there quietly. That's part of the problem. Some of you can't sit quietly, and it leads to another issue, because then you're in your head with like 50,000 different things going on. Whatever it is that you need help with, maybe it's doing mudras and mantras where you can repeat certain phrases of high vibration in your head. Maybe it's repeating certain affirmations, the unlimited amount of things you can do. Do that. Get her done, as they say. When it comes to breath work, even when you're mad, catch your breath, pay attention. We all have to do it. we all have to do it. Nobody's an exception to the rule, for real. Some are just, due to a lot of practice, they're able to do it almost effortlessly. But there are days where they still have to remind themselves, hey, breathe. Breathe correctly, breathe consciously. The more that we breathe correctly, the more that we're feeding the brain what it needs in order to think and handle situations. Now, what's the physical aspect of that for you? It's not, I know some of you run and that's cool, but you need to do something where you're consciously aware of how the energy is moving through your body, and simply going out your front door and running ain't it. Now, that's a start because it's getting you in shape, but you need to understand what parts of the body hold what energy and how to move it around. I will have content for this to cover areas that I don't normally hear many people talk about, but we can start with your chakra system. We can start with, again, you can regulate that through yoga, through qigong, through tai chi, even martial arts like jiu-jitsu. But if you're going the martial art routes, that means again that you might have too much fire and you're trying to like level it out with some discipline, like get it under control. You just like with any other practice, you have to be mindful. There's a spiritual aspect to martial arts that's never talked about, and you have to, I'm feeling like someone here needs to tap into all elements of self and not just one or two things. Like, okay, I learned this and that helped my physical, and I learned that and that helped my mental. The spirit needs to be fed now, because it's trying to do its job and the body's not up to par with it, because the mind is in conflict and there's a lot of like ish going on. There's a lot of like fiery situations going on. So some of you might be too tamed and you need a little more fire. For others, a lot of fire needs to calm down a bit here. We're going to pull one more card and then we're going to call it. This mind knows its true identity. It is the creative point of divine expression. I was just saying some of you might need to express a little more, but in a different way, in a more creative way, in a more productive way, not, confrontational, confused way. You know who you are, so don't allow other people's confusion to control you or throw you off. My loves, oh wait, I'm feeling like I should go to stickers. Okay, hold on. It's about to call it. Spirit knows it's already pretty late. We're going to get into some stickers. What wants to come out for you guys? Please don't let me pull too many. Okay, we have Wonder. I believe I said earlier the star card flashed. And we have Wonder, and the first thing I noticed was like all these stars in the sky. Some of you are really elevating, and you got a couple of mountains here, but you're getting over them. You are elevating to a higher state. We have a, this is too funny. This is too perfect and too funny. She's catching a swordfish. Queen of Swords. You know the truth. Use your discernment. Use your intuition to see the truth or lie in people's words and actions, and use your discernment to help you find the other forms of guidance that you may need. You know, your spirit guides are talking to you. Some of you, you're just tuning your mind to hear them clearly, and there are ways and methods and techniques to help you with that. That is just too funny. The color pink is important to someone. That pink's kind of light, but I'm seeing more of like a fuchsia. So the color pink is important to someone. Also, pink can represent celestial energy. We have mountains again, and we have a bear. That's just too gorgeous. And once again, this like sky where it looks like, it feels like the right before daybreak comes, actually, is what the energy I'm picking up from this is. You're really conquering these mountains, or you know, you just need to allow yourself to acknowledge that and realize that it doesn't have to always be a struggle or a battle all the time. You can rest when you need rest. A bear knows when to climb the mountain and when to chill. A bear energy is also a protector energy. So again, a lot of you like to take care of people, but it's time to take care of yourself and allow yourself to be taken care of. And sometimes you just got to sit back and laugh at the drama. We got popcorn and soda. Dog out on the shades. Like, you know what? I see y'all are just standing there. I'm just going to watch. Like, I'm not going to participate. I'm just going to watch and wait for you guys to figure it out. But I'm hearing, don't get too caught up in that. Don't get too caught up in, you know, sometimes you really just need to exit entirely. And we have whale. Whales have been of such importance lately. Whales are beautiful, majestic animals that, you know, all animals have different types of teleportation, teleportation might be important to somebody here. All animals have telepathy ability, but whales were able to hear their frequency. So what I would recommend, listen to whale sounds, authentic whale sounds. I know some of you love dolphins. I do too. But their frequency, it means different things and it operates in different ways. So listen to some whale sounds in the water and channel, see what you pick up on, especially when you need to calm down and relax. See what you hear the whale saying to you, pretty much. For others, you might be a water sign and your intuitive nature is kicking in with the energy of Cancer or Pisces here for some of you. Well, you know, we're heading into Pisces season. We have go west. I heard feng shui. Something about feng shui when it comes to going west. Keep it grand. Remember that you are a grand being. Remember that you don't need to participate in energies that make you feel lesser than. We have this camp out energy here. I feel like that's that get away, like Four of Swords kind of energy. There's actually 4 trees there. Boom. It says Houston, but I'm not hearing Houston. We have a problem. Somebody here's from Houston. Higher energies and higher vibrations are trying to channel to you, like I was saying. And we have donut, worry, be happy. So don't worry, be happy. Darlings, that was your message. I pray it all made sense and that it resonated for you. Feel free to rewind this and listen to it a couple of times. Take notes if you need to. There will be more content like this in the future. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.
Get your copy of Love Confession Cyber Edition. Link in bio.